billboard, but instead it is going to be St. Clair taking.
Kira is going to try and fight this back. He's going to find himself a double, dude. Rapid went down. The smokes are away. So now it's going to be up to Kira. Oh, how antsy are they? And that's going to be costly. Quadra kill. Can he get himself the ace? He might have the flank on him. He's going to get the jump. He gets the ace. V1 finds himself a triple. This is completely doable. Big Papa. He led in game number 1. Can he find the shots here? He's going to find it. Does take down Parcel. All right, game number 2 just about to get underway. Picking bands, getting ready for this Cafe Dostoevsky. I probably butchered that like a boss, but you know, it's Cafe. Let's get on with it. And of course, standard pick here to start things off for the Saints. Thatcher getting taken off the table right away as usual. Trying to think on the side of either of these teams. Is there anything specifically that could come out that could really like throw a wrench in regards to a ban? That may have been one of them. Seeing the Maverick getting picked off, I know is somewhat common for Cafe. I know especially for first floor attacks, it's rather useful. And then, not so surprising, ban coming out here from St. Clair. It's not every site that not every site, but every map that we see it. But they do not like going up against Mira, so it's going to be taken off the board once again. And Maluzi as well going to be taken off because basically nobody likes dealing with Maluzi.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
All right, here we go. Game number 2. Now just about underway. Of course, for this time, St. Clair's going to start on the attacking side of things. Meanwhile, Illinois working on the defense, of course. See what kind of switch-ups we're going to see here. This time, Impact is actually going to be playing the IQ. I think the first time we're seeing IQ get picked up all series. Of course, with Cafe being such a tall and huge map to try and deal with, lots of room for gadgets to become a nuisance, interfere with things. Take it off the board while you can. Being able to spot them out is definitely nice. Domo picking up the Nomad. We see him play that Nomad a lot here on Cafe so far this season. We gotta hope for the side of the St. Clair side of things that their attack is a little bit stronger than it was on Clubhouse, because Illinois eventually found their footing and then just absolutely tore away with it.
Bomb located by attackers.
Now, the defensive side of things this is the first time we're going to see Ella get picked up here as Harabic going to be picking it up. One of those operators that's not necessarily meta, not necessarily always being picked, but there seems to always be that one person on every team that likes to pick her up for certain sites every once in a while. We do see JM Beast blowing a hole through the first initial wall here, as we do see, I think that's going to be hooked up the first line of defense here for ISU as they get ready to charge forward. And then looking at St. Clair, trying to compare their attacks from last time by. I really hope they don't try to do this whole 20-second thing. Like I was saying before, it's just rather too high risk, high reward. And there's that Elamine coming in clutch, actually, really making a mess out of Impact. He's going to go down nice and quick, getting taken down from behind, actually. It's going to be Fortra. Not wasting any time getting on the kill feed this time by. Hooked up finds one as well. And this is looking absolutely disastrous. Domo's going to at least stop the bleeding a little bit. Does find Herabic. There you got the Ella off the board, but you still have to deal with 4 other members. And pick up the diffuser as well. So this is going to be a little bit tough with a minute left to go here. Domo kind of making his presence known too, trying to look for a pre-fire. Nice shot for Big Papa though, does find hooked up, and Fortra is down but not out. This is a 2v2 now. And Domo does now have the diffuser. And Saints might have somehow turned this one around. Big Papa bringing this down. It's technically a 2v1 now in Saints' favor. Fortra down but not out, unless Snail could run over and pick him up. We see Fortra just on the other side. Of course, we know they're there, but the players do not. Fortra extremely low on HP. At least was able to get himself picked up. That is a very awkward spot to try and defuse. If you can plant this, sure it's going to be a rough spot to try and defend. And actually, that might have been so clever if that nitro cell would have killed from below if he was on the floor. Crafty, crafty stuff here coming out from Domo. That being said, I am very surprised that Fortra got that kill. So Domo is now going to have to try and do the 1v2. And that's not going to go in their favor. So Illinois State are going to be able to get the defuse on this. Fortra are going to clean that one up. Trying to make this diffuser stop as quick as possible if you Fortra and secure that one. I am very, very surprised that Fortra was able to get away with that. But Illinois going to take the first one there. So I don't know if it was the jitters or what, but St. Clair not going to be able to execute on that one. Granted, the fact that they even brought that one close was rather surprising, given the way that round started, or it was a 2v4 at one point, I think, or worse. Of course, now in Big Papa finding 2. And then props there for Snail in that last one, because Fortra did get back up, so at some point Snail must have ran over and actually picked up Fortra while trying to do the 1v2 at the same time. So good positioning, good timing, and all just came perfect timing essentially there for the side of Illinois State University. Starting things off right, now we're going back down to the kitchen for this second defense.
10 seconds left before insertion. 5 seconds left. Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Not really going to switch anything up here for attack number 2. Attack's still going to rock the IQ, and everyone else still exactly where they're going to be. Patience, of course, on the Valkyrie now as well. Gerbic going to pick up the castle just to opt to slow things down. Again, this bottom floor seems to be another spot where teams tend to fancy the castle. And even though they're down on the first floor, Saints are still looking for that top-down sweep. Clear everything out as quick as possible, which takes a little bit longer, but I mean, if you're playing for the last 20 seconds, you have all the time in the world essentially anyway. You might as well just clear every single stairway, every single corner, every room. Make sure you're not getting flanked out by somebody.
Attackers have dropped
And that's not what you want to see, however. JMB is getting popped extremely quickly here as downed but not out up on the rooftops. Somebody's going to have to pick them up, and Impact is going to be right there to do so.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Miracle on site, of course, able to get through those castle charges and let Impact in to roam free, looking towards that other second floor bomb site, but of course no bomb there. And yeah, Domo's going to be a little bit roadblocked there. That's exactly the problem. You kind of need your friendly neighborhood sledge to come over and let you in. Miracle's going to try and play the top-down game. It's rather common here for this site, but that being said, elsewhere, Big Papa taking a ton of damage out of essentially nowhere. Shots fired, but nobody really getting tagged. Miracle's searching for somebody, but there's absolutely nobody on the side of Illinois in this area. And Big Papa is going to get finished off. Hooked up, going to take some shots, and then Miracle actually getting taken down as well. Back and forth battle here. We do have... Okay, is this the last 20 seconds? Sure enough, it is the last 20 seconds, isn't it? The bloodbath continues. The carnage goes on. Impact versus the world. Has a diffuser, but can he win the gunfight necessary? He is not going to be able to. I think he just walked into a shoddy. That ain't going to go well in your favor. As Harabik going to clean things up there. That castle shoddy coming in clutch as he tries to get charged in. Nice defense in Illinois, going up 2-0. Rough start here for the St. Clair squad, going down 2-0 rather quickly. Granted, I know a lot of teams prefer the defensive side of things in general in Rainbow Six Siege, but especially here on Cafe. So hopefully, I mean, I don't want to write off the St. Clair attack just yet, but I'm sure once the sides switch, they'll feel a little bit more comfortable. Or I will absolutely eat my words, but of course, I don't mind being wrong. The attacks may not necessarily have been going in their favor, but they're going to be keeping the same lineup in regards to operators this time by. And a small adjustment on the side of Illinois. We do see the Doc coming out now. Fortra. Of course. Doc, of course, does have the ability to heal, but that does not mean he's a passive operator in the slightest. If anything, this lets him get stupid aggressive and then just heal himself after the fact, as long as he doesn't get headshot. So, could see Fortra look for an aggressive play. Of course, in game number 1, went from being rather timid and a little bit slow to start. But near the end of that game was like absolutely on fire, alongside Patience as well. Standard top-down strike here for St. Clair. Of course, that second floor going right into the middle of the building. Theory should be a tough spot for Illinois State University to hold on to, given the amount of angles they have to actually cover here. But I mean, if you just get some shots off right before anybody even starts moving, that's one way to do it. Harabik, once again, making this castle work for him. Sure, it might be a defensive and kind of like passive-ish kind of operator, but another solid elimination in his pocket now, taking Miracle out extremely quickly and early into this round. Big Papa going to be the next to move in. The rest of the Saints are going to be short to follow. Get those JMBs hopping down. Impact is already moving forward as well. Shots fired. We see the outlines. Someone was hiding behind the desk. And Fortra getting low, but not quite going down. Going to top himself up. Of course, perfect time to have the dog top yourself up. He's already back up to 3/4 HP. He had like 5%. Domo going to get finalized, and eventually Fortra does finally get taken down. Impact as well. Okay, back and forth battle here, it seems. Oh, but right at the stairwell, Patience was ready and waiting for Big Papa. The Impact JMBs for Snail, Patience, and Hooked Up. Minute left on the clock. JMB still has a diffuser in hand. The opening arises. Very well could make it the opening, make the play. Get that thing planted. And, okay, nice little play there from Impact. Going to find himself a double kill after finding the Patience in the corner.
A bomb has been located.
As we see here, Snail and Hooked Up, they're both playing it smart, playing it passively. They're not going to try and challenge him up on the second floor. They're on the first floor, ready for defense. Gonna try top-down view. We see that Hooked Up is literally right there. JMB's gonna make his position known, and he's going to make too much noise. Hooked Up gonna blast him. Impact coming in, trying to clutch up here. That castle barricade might just be too much. I don't know if he has a way to bust through it. Does actually have a breaching charge, but he's gonna have to try and hunt them down instead. 4 seconds left. Can he find the player? He's gonna come through the breach or through the barbed wire, and it's not gonna be enough. Spots the player too little, too late. And that's why little things like minuscule gadgets like those barbed wires, you never really give them a second thought until it's the last couple seconds of a round and you couldn't catch up to the player because you were too slow from the barbed wire.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
The rough
as many
start here
bombs
for
as they
St.
can.
Clair is getting even tougher as Illinois making this defense work for them and continue to just kind of run away with this game. Now they get to go back to the third floor bar as well after so far a flawless defense. I mean, some of these rounds were close calls, but unfortunately I don't get any partial points here for having a close round. ISU can, of course, tear away here. 3-0 lead. Start things up.
10 seconds to insertion.
Looks like on the side of Illinois, Hooked Up and Harabic leading the charge in regards to eliminations. But everybody on the side of Illinois at least has 2.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Patience yeet that the camera outside. Possibly stick it to the wall of the building out there. Be able to get a really sneaky little angle like this. This is exactly why you fire them out the window. Get to see all the attackers come at you. Meanwhile, on the side of St. Clair, it's the sub. It's Impact who's actually leading the charge here. Of course, Impact is not necessarily a stranger to St. Clair Saints varsity team. Of course, being on the squad, I believe it was last semester. But he was not in an official match all season. And comes in here right in time to sub out for Kira, who unfortunately couldn't make it here today. I'll tell you what, though, like Impact essentially picking up right where he left off, doing a fantastic job nonetheless. Okay, the tried and true attack coming out here for St. Clair. Didn't work last time. We're going to see if they can try it again. Miracle going to get the revenge kill, however, though. Is finally going to find Hooked Up and get himself on the right side of the kill feed. Going to continue to be an absolute nuisance inside the building. As long as he has backup from his team, this should be fine. Domo trying to get a little bit cheeky there. Look, see if you can probably find somebody on the other side. There were some players on the other side, but just could not quite find them this time. Breaching charge actually put a little bit of damage onto Harabic's Legion. Fortra taking some decent damage, but not enough to take him down. Nitro Cell attempt, not going to find its mark. All the St. Clair players, as of this moment anyway, still extremely healthy. Big Papa's got to be extremely careful. Does not realize that literally right around the corner, somebody on the side of Illinois State is just ready and waiting. There's somebody on the stairwell as well. A wise frag grenade, not going to find anybody this time. How about this one? Does chunk Arabic even further, down to about half HP. And then in response, Arabic trying to get some of these goo mines out, but actually, JM Beast is in position to actually put this diffuser down. There are still so many members alive here from Illinois State University, but they're in such a solid spot that they can afford to do this. Snail and Arabic versus the world in this situation. And now it's all up to Snail. Last one alive. We see right there, Miracle and somebody else was right there, ready, and a flawless attack coming out here from St. Clair. Where did that come from? Did not expect that in the slightest, considering how their last attack on the third floor bar went, but it's always good to see some adjustments, and considering how that one went, like what Illinois is doing, it's like, okay, never mind, let's just try a different site and come back to that later, or don't mind that play in the slightest. We'll have to see if this is going to be the start of something here for St. Clair. Because at first it kind of looked like Illinois State was just going to start running away with this one. But if there's any way to shut it down, a flawless is definitely the way to do it. And if they can maybe snag themselves one or even two more rounds here, they'll be in a fantastic position going over into the defensive side of things. Going into the second half, of course. And of course, with this being in the CollegiateR6 winter season, these are the play-ins for the playoffs. It's basically a single elimination tournament at this point. So St. Clair, they do need to win this game and then win the next one to keep their playoff hopes alive here. And if they do manage to be successful in that, they're going to have to play the third seed in Purdue. Still a long way to go here, because if we do manage to snag game number 2, we're going to have to go to Villa. And Villa is not a map that I've really seen our Saints play a lot of this season. Maybe once at most. I mean, I'll take Villa over Oregon, but I feel like it's going to be the same kind of effect. And oh, the cheeky little angle catching Big Papa by surprise. Patience. Right at the bottom of the stairwell, just looks up and finds him. Cheeky little shot. Love to see it. Turtle taking a little bit of heat towards the stairwell as well. Is that Patience becoming even more of a nuisance here? Couple of the sides still outside, ready to get moving forward here as there's just under 2 minutes left in this 5th round's attack. Circle dropping to the ground. Of course, this is a first floor defense coming out here for Illinois. Saints just taking their time, sweeping away every floor. Not want any surprises, to say the least, coming out from this Illinois State squad. Good little play there from Impact, able to get rid of that Cade Claw. So in theory, they could use an ace charge on it and use that hatch to get into the basement, or into the first floor rather, if necessary. Miracle, however, going to get shot from below. Illinois really fighting back hard here in this 5th round and looking successful in doing so. Impact trying to play a Sledge-esque kind of style here, but instead of a hammer, using those breaching charges. Constantly just getting rid of the electricity. JM Beast is right there with them. In theory, they could use that hatch, but they kind of need to start moving if that's going to be the case. Because they're going to be the 3 of them, guns blazing versus 5. And not to mention as well, even if the gunfight does start going into their favor, you still have to deal with Patience's Legion and his goo mines, which I'm sure are going to be absolutely littering the site itself. And like I was saying before, you cannot plant the diffuser if you are hit by a goo mine. 20 seconds and counting. We hear those little clicks as we see right there. That's exactly the problem. You're stuck pulling the freaking goo mine out of your foot, and it's going to slow you down. Diffuser's down. This is exactly what you don't want to see, but the Legion player Patience is absolutely going to be cashing in at the bank in that one, because that is exactly how he wants to see it done. Solid defense, stopping that 20-second shenanigans, and Illinois State pulling ahead once again here, 4-1. It's the danger of a Legion. It's absolutely brutal to deal with, because even if JMB's was able to get the kills, like I was saying before, if he was able to hop on in and even get onto site, starts getting ready to plant the diffuser and then just strikes a needle, well, now you have to use those seconds that you were planting the diffuser. You now have to use those seconds to pull that needle out before you can even plant it again, so just slows you right down. Not to mention it makes trying to win gunfights after that extremely difficult, considering your screen looks like it's full of vomit, but it is what it is. Third floor bar back up in the menu here for Illinois State. Last time we were here, St. Clair, of course, got their flawless, but prior to that, they were able to win on this site, so we'll have to see. It's round 6, of course, going into halftime after this one. Would be really brutal here for St. Clair if they do end up dropping one more and leaving it to the point where it only takes 2 successful attacks from Illinois to win the entire series. We'll have to see what happens. We see Snail on the Cade was slowing things down rather significantly. Granted, Impact was constantly on point, finding those Cade claws and just shooting them out whenever he spotted it with their gadget, but it was still slow things down just ever too slightly, and to even throw more of a nuisance. There's no Legion this time by, but Herabik is going to pick up the smoke, so of course, very similar style. As long as you can keep yourself alive, those smoke canisters can really make planting in a last-second situation difficult.
Air jab in position.
Scanning for electronics.
Yeah, this time Dummo's ready and waiting. Some of those air jabs are already placed all over the steps in case either Herabik or Patience or somebody on the side of Illinois State want to go for a flanking attempt. And actually, Patience, was that a run out? What did he do there? He actually did make the run out. Is going to trade 1 for 1. But who did they take down? They took down Big Papa. Man, I feel like Big Papa's found himself some frags in this game, don't get me wrong, but he has been absolutely targeted, it feels like, or wrong place, wrong time against this Illinois squad here. Minute 30 still to go. With the sledge off the table means any sort of soft breaching is going to be that much more difficult. You're going to have to use the 3 charges from Miracle's Ash instead. They're going to use 1 charge to try and get rid of that shield and that smoke. Going to cover, actually, where the player from Illinois was. So they're going to have to run for the hills in this situation. Of course, getting a little bit messy as we now pass this last minute of play here in round number 6. Halftime, of course, right around the corner. Impact still on the rooftops. Could very well spot somebody on... I think it's on the other side of the wall, actually. Never mind. Hard to tell sometimes. All right, the lights are on, the flag's up in the air. Destruction Derby time right around the corner, and we do see Impact, the first casualty. Then Miracle finds hooked up, so 1 for 1. Miracle might have spotted 1, but he did not take the shot. He was not quite confident that he could have hit that one. A bit of a hard shot to make with this gun.
15 seconds
time is not on his side. Where is JMB? Thinks right next to him, actually. Person right in front of him. Okay, Miracle going to find Snail. But the gas canisters are going to make their life extremely difficult here. JMB is going to be forced to plant through the smoke, and it is not going to go in their favor in the slightest. Arabic says hi with the shoddy, and Fortra finishes things off here. Makes the Mozzie work and takes him down. Once again, trying to plant on top of the desk to avoid any sort of nitro cells. But he cannot avoid the assault rifle in that situation. So St. Clair need to make this defense look absolutely immaculate. Otherwise, the CollegiateR6 winter season is going to come to a close.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Now we're going to get to see the two different styles of play come on out here. Snail going to be, once again, the tried and true, the old school hard breach, bringing out the thermite. So many hard breachers and support players seem to have moved away from this operator, just because there's so many other operators now that can do maybe a little bit less of his job in regards to how big of a hole you can blow up, but much safer, or like better guns or something like that. But Snail has been pretty well tried and true to this thermite on every single attack, so props to him keeping the old school operators alive here. Meanwhile, Patient's going to be on the Nomad. We see Harabic bringing the Jackal out once again, hooked up on Zafia, and Fortra on Ash.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
On the side of St. Clair, Domo is looking to be the aggressor here. It does have the Vigil this time by Big Papa on Wamai. Miracle going to be on Jaeger duty. Impact is going to be hanging on to the smoke. And JMB is going to be on his tried and true, I think, unofficial favorite operator on Maestro. Starting off on this third floor once again. Now the only thing like that's going to kind of hurt Illinois a little bit here is, of course, bringing the thermite. You actually have to have thermite drop down and plant that's a thermic charge on the wall that is normally where you would see a Hibana or you would see the Ace be able to throw a hard breaching tool from afar. Snail has to actually go point blank with it in order to do it. Puts himself at a little bit more risk, but granted makes a bit of a bigger hole in the end. And okay, little pot shot here coming out from Impact. Making that submachine gun work, and does manage to find Fortra getting a little bit too aggressive. So a solid start here for the St. Clair defense. I'm curious if Illinois is going to wait till like the last couple seconds in a very similar fashion to, I guess, the standard for majority of competitive Siege at the moment. We do hear that endothermic charge coming off, but it's going to be too little too late. We see Domo and Miracle finding themselves a double. Snail finds the player on the other side of the shield, is going to try his best, peppering down Big Papa, but not finding the finishing blow. And that's going to be a little bit of a nuisance. He got two ADSs right there. He's going to try and go in on the third. You walk around the corner. If he has a shotgun in hand, you're absolutely toast. But it is going to be Big Papa with the assault rifle instead. That's a thermic charge, looking to go up in just a moment. He just breaches through and actually tries to take him head on. Oh my gosh, Kool-Aid Man, why don't ya? That isn't an Oryx. That is Snail going ham, apparently. Nicely done there from Snail. Big Papa, Domo, and JMB still last lines of defense. 20 seconds left here. Patience still on the roof. Snail is on the building. I might be close to on site as of this moment. Taking his time, trying to wait for Patience to catch up with them. But where are the Saints in this situation? As we do see one get peppered down right away. There's only one player left. It is going to be Patience, and Patience will get dropped, kind of trading his life here with Big Papa. So St. Clair going to find themselves their first win on defense on the first round, coming off strong at the halftime mark. They find success on the third floor, but now we're going all the way down to the bottom. We'll have to see how they pull this one off. Smoke back in the hands of Impact. We see a 6-pick possibility coming out here from Big Papa. Gonna opt instead of a mute towards a Goyo, and oh my goodness, Arabic, don't you dare. Hey, alright, so we're going to see Fuse come out for like the first time in forever, I swear.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
Don't get to explain Fuse very often, but basically his whole thing is being able to stick his gadget into a wall, and on the other side of his gadget he fires off little like mortar shell-like grenades, which can either damage players or get rid of gadgets. It's kinda hard to use in a competitive setting. It's a really awesome pub stomper. I know I love hopping into a newcomer or a casual match and whipping out the Fuse, but in competitive, that is so much more difficult. That being said, looking at the scores right here, right now, we have 2 players on the St. Clair side. Impact. You'd never guess that this guy was a sub. Leading the charge here alongside Miracle with 7, and then Patience also sitting there with 7. Keeping his momentum up strong after a very strong finish to game number 1. Has been basically on fire since then. But round 8, the attack is now underway. Going to be actually extremely curious as to how Arabic wants to use this Fuse. I feel like the common way to be would be him to go up to the second floor, go right above the site, stick his gadget into the floor, and then just let it launch. But I feel like that would also be extremely obvious. Curious as to how he wants to pull that one off. We'll try to call it out when we hear them coming down, because it's definitely interesting, to say the least. Kind of getting escorted out here by Hooked Up, which is probably fair. Not a bad idea in the slightest. Fortra not too far behind as well. Miracle taking a little bit of heat. And Fortra actually was looking to smoke him through the wall, but not going to quite find him. Miracle still taking damage, however. And the first casualty is actually at hand here. We do see Miracle does end up finding Fortra, so the sledge taken off the board early in this round. Minute 30 still to go. Still's trying to lead his team to victory. Throwing everybody in, keep safe, and then Hooked Up is escorting, I believe, Harabic as of this moment. Still outside, and Harabic, we are not going to see any Fuse action as it gets completely shut down by Domo. Saints in solid position and try and push their comeback potential here, bring it to 3-5. We're still 45 seconds left in this round, however. Impact still full of smoke canisters as well. As long as he can keep himself alive, that can basically stall 30 seconds. We do see him starting to throw some out right here, right now. Domo gets taken down. Nice little headshot from Hooked Up. Miracle going to find the refrag, however, so it's going to be all up to Snail, who does have the diffuser, and then Patience is right behind them.
A bomb has been located.
15 seconds and counting. Try and split up and try and take him down separately, it looks like in this case here, but of course, no, you also have to deal with the Goyo shield at the same time, which of course is going to spill fire all over the floor. There is no way you're getting into this site. Completely locked down. St. Clair going to take that one convincingly. the right side of Illinois. As much as I love to see Fuse come on out here, I don't think we're going to see it again. Fair enough. Bring the Jackal back out. And okay, I was going to say a Rooney is not legal in competitive play as of yet. Still too new of an operator. They'll have to wait, I believe it's either 2 weeks or 2 months before you can actually start using that character in a competitive setting. Yeah, strong start to defense here for the side of St. Clair. See if they can keep this up and run this thing all the way back to possibly a comeback. That being said, however, they've not necessarily given themselves much room for error. Now, I'm not sure if this is just us or what, but I think we might be lagging out a little bit. Oh, no, I think we're going. We're good.
Attackers need to locate.
Yes, somebody has to feed the hamster. Fair enough. Of course, this time we're going to the second floor reading room. Bit of a difficult spot to try and deal with, especially that the rooftop is going to be just another angle that you have to worry about as a defender.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Definitely don't like picking this site if you don't have to, but of course, winning in kitchen and at the third floor bar, you're going to kind of be forced to pick this one. The rooftops we go as per usual, and then now Ortra going to just watch over that rooftop, see if he can maybe get a sneaky little pick, considering that's where majority of the St. Clair members are at least kind of centering around. Gives patience to spotting the one out, and actually Miracle is going to barely hang on just long enough to take care of Fortra. I think that was over at the rooftops. That being said, though, a nice little cleanup there from Hooked Up, busting through the window and finding the finishing shot onto Miracle. Miracle with 10 eliminations in this second game so far. Who did Harapic happen to spot out here? Of course, if it's the Vigil, then that's not what he really wants to happen. But if you do spot somebody who's already on the site, then it doesn't really matter. You kind of expect that someone from the defense is going to stay on the site itself. Yes, shots fired. No one making contact, however. Bit of a skirmish here up by the stairs. I think there's an ADS shutting things down here. Miracle may be taken down, but those ADSs do work from the grave. Nice little shot here from Harapic, actually. Takes down Vigil, takes down Domo. Domo having himself a bit of a rough second game here in this series. 30 seconds ago, smoke's starting to come on down. Big Papa gets taken down, but refragged rather quickly. Jam Beast finds him there. Hooked Up, Patience and Snail versus Impact and JM Beast. Impact very well could stall this out at least a little bit, but JM Beast has to be there to try and reinforce.
15 seconds left.
Final smoke canister going down. Nice shots. However, the refrag from Patience is going to knock him down. 2-on-1. Where is Impact? On site, trying to defend as best he could. Looks the wrong way at the wrong time, and Impact's going to get taken down. Headshot from Hooked Up. And now this is getting dangerous. Match point now for Illinois State. It pressure's on. Everybody's just hopping on to what they're comfortable with. We do see JMB's back on the Maestro. Hopefully
Attackers need
play that
locate
to
and
fruition,
defuse
but I
as many
feel like
bombs
those
as they
evil
can.
eyes have not been as big of an impact as they normally tend to be. Domo going to be on the Cade as well, trying to electrify as we now hop over to this third floor once again. Illinois State, they have a little bit of wiggle room to work with as well. They can try something different, try to, not necessarily cheese, but throw a different strat out there if they wanted to, but it looks like they're just going to go for the tried and true. Of a team composition that you'd probably see the Saints run with the exception of Snail's Thermite, but of course that's just Snail's go-to compared to
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb
Aces
and
or
defuse it.
Habanas of Standard.
Bomb located by attackers.
And that's one way to start things off. Okay, if there's any player that needed a momentum boost, it was definitely Domo. That's a fantastic start from him, able to find the elimination onto Harabik. As Harabik may have been pushing maybe a little bit too far to try and get some gadget kills. Solo way start things off. This little angle here from Hooked Up, so minuscule. I can't even see that with my glasses on. There's a reason why I'm behind the commentary desk and not the player booth, right? We may be Griffins, but we definitely ain't no eagle. Or I ain't definitely ain't no eagle. That being said, Patient's going to find Domo, take him down. 4 on 4, minute 35, just about on the clock. Oh, knock knock, hello there. There's a miracle for you. Hooked Up gets taken down. When you knock on the wrong door, and they meet you with the weapon. Fortra, and I think that was Patience, retreating and opting to hop in and go from the top down. Okay, Patience, never mind. From below, actually. Miracle was spraying his weapon, kind of gave his position away, and he went for it. That was a beautiful shot. Miracle definitely a little bit lost for words after that one. But it was a crafty little play from Patience. Freaks in the best ways, I suppose. Saints down, but not quite out. Okay, there we go. The Snail does get taken down, and the smoke on top of the diffuser is going to make it hard to try and get in. But since Illinois State University actually went in before the 20-minute mark, they have a little bit of extra time to actually recuperate themselves a little bit and try to make a secondary plan here. Unlucky there for Patience, caught himself switching weapons, but thankfully for ISU, Fortra able to clean it up one-on-one for the life of the playoffs. Is JMB's going to get it? He's going to find the double. This one is not over yet. The coach and captain hanging on for dear life and keeping them in the game. Maestro go brr. Indeed. I mean, when you got that light machine gun, you never have to really reload in a round unless you're just absolutely letting a wall into it. Okay, last time we were here on the first floor, Saints did a pretty solid job on defense, actually. Just shut them down to the point where just completely ran out of time. Basically between Miracle's Jaeger just constantly shutting down all the utility, and then between Smoke and Goyo, there was absolutely no room that you can actually walk into without taking damage. See if they can set it up again, or if Illinois has the adjustment necessary to get rid of some of those gadgets. And I think the answer very well might be Harabik's operator pick in this situation. Why am I? It's a Cali. Okay, I was gonna say, why am I pulling a brain fart? What is that operator? But yes, it's Thatcher Light coming in here with the sniper rifle, and of course being able to destroy gadgets on the other side of the wall as well.
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds to insertion.
It could be a very interesting pick nonetheless, though, because we see Thatcher banned so often. You do see Cali get a little bit more playtime because of that on certain sites, and I guess this one would just happen to be one that ticks the boxes here for Harabik. So, have to see as we move forward. Match point, of course, is still on the board here for ISU. One more victory, and they're going to be moving on to play Purdue. And then the Saints' playoff run will be ousted. At the very minimum in the season, they're still getting themselves a top 15, which of course is absolutely no slouch in itself. But of course you wish to move forward. You're going to move forward. We see Snail and Fortra and the rest of the Illinois squad moving forward, trying to get themselves some ground here. The Arabic looking to try and take away some of those Cade Claws, or was it Cade Claw? Yeah, it was a Cade Claw. Snail about to blow a gigantic hole through that wall, and that could leave a massive sightline here for everybody, let alone the Cali with a sniper rifle.
Bomb located by attackers.
JMB's getting caught out. I think that was by a grenade from Fortra. A little bit of damage done to him. Domo still looking for his opportunity. He's picked this Vigil so much here in this game, but the aggression and the roaming has just, it felt like it's just not been paying off so far. And Impact, the smoke is down so early. That is absolutely brutal. None of those smoke canisters are going to be able to delay the Illinois squad. The heartbreaker here for the St. Clair side of things. It's not necessarily done as the Heart Breacher goes down. The diffuser carrier as well. Snail gets picked off by JMBs.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Four on four with a minute left, and you don't have to worry about a smoke. That being said, a nice shot, but completely refragged. So that's going to be Domo. Finds the one, but of course, Hooked Up going to trade it out right away. 45 seconds left to go. It is not April. That calendar's a little off now, ain't it? JMBs finds himself another one. JMBs, he's, of course, usually trying to be more of a supportive player, but he's been finding so many frags in these last couple rounds, really keeping the team in this game. Definitely got to give him props for that. Arabic might have found an opportunity to sneak this defuse. That could actually be kind of brutal. They are a player down, but they do stick it. Big Papa is launching off the Goyo shield, but it's going to be too little too late. Nitro Cell in hands. He was just not in position to defend that defuse. Shots fired. Hooked Up takes him down. Big Papa to try and clutch the season. This is a rough spot for Big Papa, because by now, Harabik and Hooked Up would have put themselves in a position for the defense. And I don't know how they snuck that one, but they just completely steal away the series with that diffuser plant. And Hooked Up going to finish things off and finish off the season here for St. Clair. We have ourselves 2 games of 7-4, or 2 7-4 matches, rather. A valiant effort. Asian's going to find himself the MVP once again here, and 2 players with 10 eliminations, and then Miracle on the side of the Saints going to secure the top eliminations for the team there. So a valiant effort nonetheless here from our St. Clair squad, but they're not going to move forward into these playoffs. Going to stop here on the play-ins. Of course, still going to make it into the top 15 nonetheless. Of course, there are definitely like questions out there, some what ifs and whatnot. I mean, St. Clair, of course, were the underdogs here in this match. Illinois State, on paper, doing exactly what was expected of them. But it definitely hurts when you don't see the full original team come in for a game like this. But things do happen, of course. Unfortunately, Kira was not able to make the matchup nonetheless here today. But that being said, I still do want to give props to Impact as well for not being in an official match all season. Has came in clutch. He picked up right where he left off and was doing a fantastic job. But Illinois State was just the better team today, and they're going to move forward in these playoffs up against Purdue, who is the 3rd seed. So that's going to be a tough match. Of course, if you want to see any other of the CollegiateR6 winter matches, be sure to follow their Twitch as well. CollegiateR6 is just like how it's spelt on the graphic here, is their Twitch as well. So you can see the conclusion of this this playoff series as well. Because as much as I love strictly looking at the St. Clair matches, I also like to see what the competition looks like. They'll definitely be keeping tabs on that as the new year arises. And speaking of the new year, for us here on the Saints side of things, this is the last stream, of course, for 2020. It's been an absolute roller coaster overall, whether it was like last semester or even the start of this semester, where you all probably got to see a lot of my face and listen to a lot of my voice. But of course, going into this next semester, always looking to keep improving, and as well as give more and more students opportunities here on the broadcast as well. As much as I love being the unofficial, I guess, face of this stream, want to see more and more students come on out here. So of course, any students here for St. Clair that want to work on the back end or want to work on commentaries, please do fire me an application on the Saints Discord. But of course, speaking of students getting involved, I do want to thank Shadi Hannah or Zeddy for doing the observing here today, considering this is the 2nd time you've been working the R6 side of things. Solid job nonetheless, and keeping everything in line. So thank you once again, Zeddy. Of course, big thank you to everybody for tuning in, and thank you to the sponsors, of course, that make this all happen. All listed below, of course. St. Clair College, Zeppelin School of Business and IT, PC Outlet, St. Clair College Alumni Association, Tim Hortons, and the St. Clair SRC. But with that, that'll close things out for now. Be sure to follow us here on Twitch, as you're going to be able to get to see a bunch of the matches that were happening all throughout the season. Or if you want that, see all the matches on demand, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. No cost, of course. Just go on and check it out. And also, somebody just got Photoshop and a proper video editing software. So be sure to follow the St. Clair, the St. Clair Saints, the Saints Gaming YouTube channel, because I'm going to be working on some highlight videos that you're not going to want to miss. But for now, we'll see you in the new year. New season's just on the horizon, and I'm excited to see it. But for now, happy holidays, everybody. Happy New Year, and I'll see you in 2021.